All right, everybody, what is going on? Good morning. Happy Monday. We're starting a new week here and we are getting back to the grind. We've got a few more of these videos to do. Just going to be taking a look at a handful of more player predictions. And today we are doing cornerback. So this is a position where Seattle has sustained some losses this offseason, but I think they will be okay. And I believe they're going to come out of this season with a capable set of corners, maybe not hyper elite, but I think we're going to get some nice play out of this group. So we're doing cornerback today. This video is sponsored by Prize Picks. Again, we're going to be looking mostly at box score stuff, which doesn't always entirely capture how well a player plays. I understand that, but we're going to work with what we have here. We're going to be starting with Devon Witherspoon, who I do believe by the time the regular season kicks off will have his new contract. So Devon Witherspoon hasn't really had that full-on breakout year yet. Last year probably would have been, but he got hurt and missed 5 games. So I don't think we've seen the best of Witherspoon yet, and 2026 would be a great year for him to actually have that big monster year that I know he has in him. So I'm going to go with 85 tackles, going to be a good amount. One thing to keep in mind is I don't think teams are going to run the ball that much against the Seahawks because, number one, they're going to play from behind a lot. And number two, I think our run defense is going to be insane this year. So you're going to see more passes, which means more tackles for the corners. And it means a few other things as well, which we'll get to. But one thing to keep in mind, this will not be a balanced attack these Seahawks are facing this year, because I just don't think smart teams are going to try to run the ball on a run defense that was so good last year, and health providing should be better this year, honestly. All right, so 85 tackles. Passes defensed, I went with 11. I know he's capable of more. I wouldn't be shocked if he ended up having like 15 or 16, but I'm going to go with 11. I'm going to kind of shave things down a little bit. Play things safe here. We know that Witherspoon is not the top corner in the league in coverage. We know his game is more all around, but he'll get his hand on the ball plenty. And 2 interceptions. He's pretty clearly not a high interception guy. Doesn't seem like that's his game. And I don't expect that to change at this point. But I do think he's going to get a couple. You know, it's going to happen here and there, if for no other reason than by accident. So Devon Witherspoon, couple interceptions. Coverage is tough. I went with 83 targets and 57 catches, which seems high, but it makes sense. When you are on this defense and on this team, if opposing offenses throw the ball a lot, eventually they're going to throw the ball at you, even if you're really good at your job, even if you're a really good corner like Devon Witherspoon is, you're going to get targeted eventually. So 57 completions, 83 targets, maybe not elite, but it'll get the job done. I got 577 yards. I do think there are going to be some big plays in there. There are going to be some guys that just kind of have him outgunned because he's a little bit on the smaller side. So I don't think he'll be an elite cover player, especially not in the context of this defense, right? Because again, if you can't run and you're playing from behind, what are you going to do a lot of? And then I said he'll give up 2 touchdowns, so not bad or anything, but definitely some damage. If you like sports, then the best way to make them even better and more exciting is using the PrizePicks app, where it always feels good to be right. PrizePicks makes daily fantasy simple. Just pick more or less on your favorite players and build lineups with a few taps. Whatever sport you're into, and obviously we are now firmly into the NFL offseason, so we're all about baseball, we got some basketball, we got some hockey, whatever it is you like, PrizePicks gives you a fun way to stay locked in while you're watching. Definitely make sure to use the promo code HMA. PrizePicks is hooking up users with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. If you use that promo code, that is HMA. I've had a great time on PrizePicks so far, so definitely get on over to it, check it out, and make sure to get your lineups. And don't forget about team picks, where you can pick winners, spreads, and totals on any major game. So download the app now, use HMA, and get on over to Prize Picks, where it always feels good to be right. And remember, always gamble responsibly. All right, so then we get to Josh Jobe, and Jobe is a good player. I think that he can get the job done, but he is going to, you're going to see some stuff here that is going to make you maybe a little bit uncomfortable. Just understand that, again, in this defense, you're going to give up some stuff when you're playing coverage because of the circumstances. So I went with 61 tackles, not quite as involved as Witherspoon, but he'll be good in that area. He'll be a capable tackling and capable run support corner in general. Passes defensed, I went with 11, same number. Might even be a little bit higher because I think he'll get targeted a lot, but I went with 11. Also went with 2 interceptions, same as Witherspoon, same basic idea. I don't think he's going to be some wizard at taking the ball away or anything like that. He might surprise you because he'll get targeted a lot, but I'll just go with 2 for now. Targets, I went with 89. I do think he'll lead the team in targets. Just because if you're gonna target somebody, you would think it would be Josh Jobe over somebody like a Witherspoon or an Emmanwori. Those guys are more likely to punish you. Even compared to like a Julian Neal, I'd rather be targeting Josh Jobe. But only 54 completions for whatever reason. Last year, Josh Jobe was really, really good at allowing a low completion percentage. Last year, it was like 50%. I don't think he'll do that again, but it'll be maybe better than Witherspoon. But I also think he'll give up more big plays. So it's going to be like 623 yards. So the completions he gives up are going to be a little bit bigger. And again, he's one of those guys that is going to get punished a little bit because this defense is going to face a ton of pass attempts. And circumstances are going to dictate you need to go for it a little bit against this defense. Also went with 5 touchdowns. He gave up quite a few last year, and I think a lot of the touchdowns are going to come on him. So it's not going to be a pretty year in terms of like the raw coverage numbers, but I believe that he'll play fine. And these numbers will be somewhat circumstantial. All right, now we get to a fun one here. Nick Emmanwori, probably still the slot corner. I know that he's also a safety, but I think he's going to stick at slot corner for the time being. I went with 102 tackles. I think he's actually going to be the second leading tackler on this team. He's all over the place. He's in the slot. He's in the box. He's deep. He does so much stuff on defense, and he's so fast to the ball that I think he's just going to find a way to constantly be involved in the play. Passes defense, because he is so quick and so long, 15. He had a crazy number of pass breakups last year, and that was as a rookie when, honestly, his coverage wasn't even that great. His physical talent allows him to still be involved a lot. So 15. And I also went with 3 interceptions. I think that's going to crank up a little bit. He's going to be around the ball so much. The interceptions are just going to come eventually, I think. And I think that you will see a little bit of an improvement there with his ball skills. Targets, I went with 78. Again, I think defenses are going to definitely go after Jobe a little bit more, just because the other 2 guys have a lot more physical talent and they can punish you easier. But I do think they're going to have to throw on Emmanwori a bit, and Emmanwori isn't some hyper-skilled cover player yet. 50 completions allowed, and went with 446 yards. It's going to be a little bit lower than Witherspoon and Joe because he's in the slot, and he's closer to the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be less than 10 yards per completion, and 2 touchdowns allowed in coverage. So it'll be an improvement overall, I think, from last year. And he continues to advance towards becoming one of the elite players in the league. Julian Neal, I know that some people are pretty hot to trot on Neal this year, but I think that barring big injury, he's not going to play that much. I think he's green. I think he's raw. And I think that Jobe is a good enough player to hold on to that starting spot for 2026. So barring injury, I don't think Neal gets on the field that much. I gave him 16 tackles, 1 pass breakup. It might be like garbage time. Maybe he gets involved in a game or 2 when there are injuries, like Nehemiah Pritchett did last year. No interceptions, 11 targets, 7 completions, 78 yards. Nothing too bad, but also nothing conclusive because he won't play that much, and 1 touchdown. I just look at Julian Neal and I see a guy who needs a little bit of time here. And I look at Jobe and see a guy the team really likes, and I see a guy that I like. I think that he can play, and I think that it's really hard to play corner and keep up good cover numbers in this defense because of the nature of the run defense. Okay, Nehemiah Pritchett, also another guy who I don't think will play very much. He might not even make the team. Igbenogany might make the team over Nehemiah Pritchett, honestly. It wouldn't shock me, but I put Pritchett here for now. 5 tackles and not really too much else going on otherwise. I think I was otherwise pretty, 2 targets, 1 completion, 13 yards, no touchdowns. Not anything significant. And then you got Andre Fuller here. I went pretty light here as well, just 2 tackles and no coverage numbers. I don't think he's going to play. And that gets you your totals. So it's going to be a defense that faces a lot of passing attempts. So understand that. And you're going to give up some stuff. You're going to get beat a little bit. You're going to give up touchdowns. And unless maybe somebody like a Josh Jobe just randomly turns into a little bit of a ball hawk here, which the opportunity should be there, then you're just not going to see brilliant metrics from this unit. But I do think you'll see good play. This won't be one of the best corner rooms in the league, but it'll be a good one. It'll be more than good enough. And I'm excited to see what happens with Emmanwori in particular, because to me, Emmanwori is a guy who, based on what we saw last year, has a chance to become one of the best players in the league. And he could be maybe even a top 10 defensive player and a defensive player of the year candidate at some point. I don't know if that happens this year, but I think we will see signs. All right, I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. Everyone have a good rest of your day. And those are my predictions for the cornerbacks. Let me know what you think down below. And more videos coming soon. But we're almost at the end of this little series, so see you soon.